ladies and gentlemen, Sabine Matharu, a personable, resilient entrepreneur that is genuinely passionate about simplifying business and creating step-by-step programs to help others shine. Originally, she is from Austria, then moved to the United Kingdom after university with no money nor a job. She got to know how it feels to build up a new life from scratch, and now she is empowering people to be great. Sabine, are you ready to rock this?
Absolutely, Chris.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's super exciting to have you on. You are now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self, and we're going to have an amazing interview over the next hour. So thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to share with our audience all that you've learned and some amazing wisdom and help us grow. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Yes, awesome. So we're going to dive right into the question and the theme of today, which is leap before you're ready. So Sabine, how has that shown up for you? How have you related to this concept? How has it made a difference for you in your career, in your coaching, and how you show up in life?
It's such a good question. Do you know what? Because, Chris, for the longest time, I have been a perfectionist and I have procrastinated because I thought everything needs to be ready. I need to have a shiny website. I need to have a shiny logo. And it doesn't really help. My husband's a graphic designer. So he was helping that belief, right?
Yes.
But really, once you put yourself out there, and you just talk to people, you open up, you reach out, it's amazing what things can happen. It's just incredible. And sometimes you need to leap before you're ready in order to be able to find yourself. Because for me, it was a journey of finding who I am as a person, who my audience is. And actually, if you never reach out, if you not jump, you will never find out what's out there for you. And what people actually need. So absolutely, I completely support it. And I have been in the position where I haven't done it for the longest time. And the last 6 months or so, I've just gone through it. And this is why I'm here today. Because, I've just gone through it. I said, Chris, get me on the show. Let's do this.
Yes. I love it. I love it. That's the key, though, is really just taking that leap and that step before you're ready. And you said, hey, put me on the show. I'm willing to go. I'm willing to take the leap and then find out how later, right? It's like throw your hat over the wall and then figure out how later. I'm a jump off the cliff and build a plane on the way down kind of guy myself. So this is awesome.
Yeah,
So we're going to dive in even more to this principle and concept of leap before you're ready. Before that, though, Sabine, why don't you share a little bit more about what you're doing today, what your work is, what your career is with our audience, so we can get to know you even more.
Yeah. So as you already said in the beginning, I am from Austria and now I live in London. And believe me, it wasn't really planned in that way. I thought I'd just come here for a year or two, but things happen in different ways. Basically, I bumped into my now husband. So we have 2 kids now and we're happily married, so to speak. But when I came, I literally had no money. I literally had 1 suitcase. And probably I was leaping before I was ready because literally I had a degree in process and project management. So I actually started off in the corporate world. And when I came to the UK, I thought, well, I believed in myself. I've got this wonderful education. So surely I'm going to get an amazing job.
Of course. That's how it works, right?
An executive job straight away. And I had probably saved up about $1,000 from... I was an entrepreneur young because I was already tutoring whilst I was studying. And I don't know, all of a sudden I ended up with like 10, 15 students at the time. I could hardly handle the study and the tutoring. So at some point I was even thinking, shall I continue with the tutoring business or should I finish studying? I mean, in a nutshell, I made all my money myself. So my parents really never had to truly support me financially. And then off I went. I was like, packed my suitcase. I said, okay, I'm going to go to UK and I'll see what happens. So I just found myself some temping jobs because really I needed to prove that I'm not going to return home, am I? That would have been well embarrassing if I had gone back after 2-3 months and then saying, well, I gave in. I couldn't find a job. I couldn't build myself up.
Isn't that the fear though? Like the shame, the guilt of like every entrepreneur, like, I don't want to have to go back home. I don't want to have to, like, you know, come back with my tail between my legs, that I had this big vision and big dreams and I was going to accomplish this. And then I got to go back and people get to say, I told you so, and kind of like rub our nose. And that's like one of the things that entrepreneurs are so afraid of, but it drives us too, you know?
Absolutely. It's that, okay, let's jump out of the 9-to-5 job and let's make it happen.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you come to that crossroads, like, do I continue on this path, entrepreneurship, or am I really no good? And I have come across that as well. And this is the reason why I do what I do, because several times I came to this junction and I thought, you know, am I going to make it work? Because I started to be an entrepreneur. I mean, I have this history in corporate. I was management consultant, traveling pretty much 9 to 5, again, out of one suitcase. So that suited me fine. And, you know, I was with different clients all the time and teaching and training and coaching. And this is really what I absolutely love, because I can see people going on a journey.
What was the focus of your coaching, tutoring, training in the beginning?
It was all around performance improvement. So anything to do with, like, we would change some processes, and that means every process has got people involved. And for me, it's a people skills. You can't just change something in the process and then not educate people or bring them on board and let them know why they're doing things. And then also we looked at performance improvement from a personality point of view as well, like the leadership training, like how to upscale, you know, your negotiation skills, for example. I did stuff on time management as well. And I also still do, because I'm fully self-employed now, so I'm just contracting. And sometimes people ask me to do leadership and coaching training. So I actually teach how to lead in an organization, and I coach the coach as well. And I just love that, because it's the human side of things. Yes, I am a process person as well, because this is what I studied, masters in business project and process management. And 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 for the longest time I was thinking in processes, in steps, and I did not connect with my heart. Because I think now in entrepreneurship, it's so important to actually align, and I know alignment and stuff like that, that's such a buzzword, but it's absolutely true. You've got to find yourself, you've got to find your voice, and then keep the faith when there's tough times, and be persistent and consistent, and believe in yourself. And when you come to those crossroads where it's like, do I really want to go back into my 9-to-5 job? No, I don't want to. I feel embarrassed. But if you do have to, don't beat yourself up, because we all need to live. That's you know, then go and do something, say part-time or whatever it is, but don't lose your passion. Don't give up on that idea, on that dreams. Don't do that. Never, ever.
Never, ever. I love it.
Never, ever.
So this is...
Life is too short, Chris, honestly.
Yes, 100%. 100%. So,
and
Sabine,
I feel,
You have this perspective now, and you're empowering people to reach for their greatness now. And I'm sure it wasn't always this easy to say, you know, keep stepping forward through the challenges, through the obstacles. So was there any really specific moments, defining moments, or pearls of wisdom that you can share with us about how you turned things around, or how you leaped before you were ready, and, you know, maybe it didn't work out, or you learned something? Is there anything like that that you can share with our audience, so that we can, if we're going through our own challenges, that we can really learn from what you did and how you approached it, so that we can get through our challenges even easier?
Yes. So for me, I had this phobia, 2 phobias. One is the tech phobia, because I'm looking at sales funnels and email campaigns. And when I started, I was like, how am I gonna implement that in my business? I am not a techie person. I mean, I need my brother to help me fix my PC, for goodness sake, right? But I recognized is something I need to know. And in order to be able to help others, I need to know that. So a lot of patience, endurance, go for it, learn it, implement it. But I'm always saying, fast track, Fast track, because you do not need all the fancy bits and pieces. So stuff that I teach is really step by step, and it's the easy things, the simple tools that you can use to automate your business. And then I had another, and I kind of lost it now.
So you mentioned before that you were focusing on these, shiny bells and whistles, like the logo and the graphics and stuff like that. What were some of those moments where you were like, why isn't this working? Like, I'm putting in this time and this energy into these things, and it's just like not panning out. Like, can you take us to one of those moments, and then like how you got through it? What did you focus on? How did you transcend through that challenge?
Yeah. And that brings me to the second one, because I now remember what it was.
Yes.
It was actually picking up the phone and speaking to people. I was literally hiding behind the computer, behind a fancy logo and behind a fancy website. So I think you get the message.
Yeah.
And that changed for me. I wasn't doing videos or anything like that. I mean, a year ago, you would have not had me here. No way. Okay. I felt not confident actually talking to myself in a way when I do Facebook Lives. But I had to change my mentality and think, actually, how many lives can I impact? How many women can I help start their business, grow their businesses? Because we owe it to them to serve our audience, and we need to show up for them.
Wow.
And you do it with love.
Wow.
And you do not think about dollar signs, about money. It's about the money comes later. Definitely. I think that was the biggest shift for me, and to leave before I was ready.
Yes.
Because I would be never ever ready.
So I'm curious, is there a way to really program this belief of serving, of getting ourselves out of the picture, of not making it about us but making it about others? Is there a way that we can really ingrain that into us, to like brand that into us, so to speak, and program ourselves, deeply root that belief and that paradigm into us? Like, how do we do that?
How do you do that? Let me tell you a story.
Yes. The
story is from this morning, because I went into a meeting, and it's never going to really, really go away, especially when you're in your business and you need to pay the bills.
Yep.
And you have those pressures. But I went into this meeting this morning, and I met this guy at a networking event. And I asked him, can we please follow up? Because I really love your business idea. It's a cutting edge technology company, and it's just a startup. So he brought along his partner as well. So first I was like, oh my gosh, he brought a second person into the meeting. I didn't really expect that.
Right.
And then I was like, he was talking to me for the first hour about his business, and I felt like he was trying to sell to me. And I thought, how am I going to turn this around? When is he going to ask me what I do, how I can, And then I thought to myself, hang on, don't do that. Don't think, just be there, focus on them, ask questions, and then ask open questions like, where do you think you feel stuck? And that question did come up. Actually, he asked me, so how do you help businesses? And from that point in the conversation, it was really flowing. It was a give and a take. It was a balance. And I was truly, it was truly that feeling of, I want to give you the best that I can be. And I was able to instill that belief to the partners that they could move from here to there. I mean, I think they're going to go massive. It's going to be a global market. I'm so excited. And literally, they said, we don't know how to move forward. I said, I think we need to do a vision workshop. And also instill that belief into them, that they can do it. So I think it's that feel, and to remind yourself when you're on showing up and how you're showing up in your business, that it's mostly not about you. Things are going to come. And I do believe now more so in the law of attraction. I wasn't quite like getting it before, because I was quite sort of a logical, like a numbers type person.
Yes.
But I think that's because that's sort of coming into my life. Everything seems to come together much better. Plus, I actually do heavily invest also in my own coaching as well. I'm part in masterminds, and you've got amazing mastermind going as well, Chris. Those are the places where you're really going to leap, where you're really going to take the next level, because people are going to hold you accountable and they're going to help you grow. And you only grow when you're moving out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Once things don't feel like good anymore, that's exactly when you're going to grow. It may feel painful, but when you do it another time, it's going to feel more comfortable. And that's where you stretch yourself.
It's beautiful. 100% agree. And I love how you said, really, it's just show up with that give and take mentality, and be willing to give, be willing to ask the questions, be willing to make it about them, and that's really, I've found that in serving people and having opportunities come back to me, it's how can I show up in this moment to be of service? How can I show up in this moment to contribute, to ask the right questions, to give them clarity on what is working, where they want to go, which everyone wants more clarity on their vision, which as a coach you can provide that for them, but also what isn't working, what's stopping them. We need clarity on both ends. We need clarity on where we want to go, and we need clarity on where we're at right now and what might be in between us that is stopping us from achieving that. So I love that. And one of the other things that I would recommend for our listeners right now is if you want to show up with more of this, I am someone who is of service mindset, it's called preparation. Prepare with how you're going to show up in a conversation. So we're talking about this right now, and Sabine is sharing this with you, and it's great because it's opening up a new paradigm and a new perspective. And how you can really ingrain this into your psychology is to spend time preparing on it, to spend time disciplining yourself to be that person. So number one, you could journal about it in the morning. You could say, this is who I'm going to be today. I'm going to be this person of service. I'm going to be this person who shows up and gives and asks the right questions, who attracts into my life these types of people who want my help, who are open to the help. And you can journal about that. You can create that. Also, right before a meeting like Sabine went into today, you can say, how am I going to show up being of service in this meeting? You have an idea of who the person is. Hopefully you've done your due diligence and research on them, at least to the best of your ability, the company. You're preparing. Even if you don't know anything, you can say, I'm going to ask these questions. I'm going to ask this question of, what's the most important part about this business for you? Why is this important to you? What's your biggest challenge? What's your biggest obstacle? What's stopping you right now? And you can prepare the questions. You can prepare who you're going to be in their interaction. You could say, 5 minutes before the call, I'm going to be someone of service. I'm going to be someone who gives back. I'm going to be someone who illuminates a path for this person to continue moving forward, to accelerate their growth. And even if you're not necessarily coaching them, you can still show up being like that. Even if they're not going to, quote unquote, work with you and continue, paying you, being a consultant or whatever it might be, you can show up and say, hey, I'm here to just be of service and help you take steps forward. And both of us will get the most out of it and be our greatest possible self because of it. So I love that. And Sabine, we're talking about how to fast track our business, right? And avoid the unnecessary detours. So what other solutions, what other ways, what other paradigms or shifts can we engage in to fast track our business and avoid those detours?
Yeah. So definitely, you don't need any fancy website. You do not need any fancy logos. And I'm probably doing my husband out of a business. But anyway, it helps. It's good, to show. I wanted to have that website for myself because I got clarity around who I was serving. So fast tracking for me is to leap before you're ready.
Yes.
Right. And to get your feet wet and not have everything there and perfect, but have an idea what are the pain points of your customers, and to really fast track your business. And just what I do with my clients is we actually do a survey. So the survey has two advantages. One, you're going to find out exactly what your client, what your prospective client target market is suffering from. You can also ask questions like how urgent is that the problem? How urgent do you want to solve that problem? You can also find out, what would be your budget? Is there a market if you're breaking into something completely new and it's not being done yet? How much money would you actually be willing to spend? And then also, how would you want to receive that service? Is it online, offline, one-to-one, group, what have you? So you really get clear, and it can be done. We turn around within like a couple of days and go on social media. And you can also ask, like, I'd like to give you a free thank you. I'll give you, I don't know, a free half-an-hour coaching session, which I've done before, which worked really, really well as a thank you. And it's a get to know as well. So that means that whoever fills in the survey puts in their email address or phone number, you then get in touch, and perhaps you have some sort of discovery call. And again, what's important and help to fast track your results is, once more, be of service. Have the discovery calls, and truly do not be sleazy and salesy, because that's really icky. It feels icky for you, and it feels icky for the other person as well. It's really truly help them. They 80% of the time, people ask me, so how can I work with you? So I pretty much give them the strategies and ideas, and it's like, oh my God, you've got so many ideas, you're so creative, and this, that, and the other. I'd love to implement all of it. But how do I do this without getting into overwhelm? And I know you were talking about overwhelm in the previous session. I absolutely agree, because you could be, shiny objects everywhere, this program and that program. You're going to learn everything. What? Driving traffic, paid ads, free strategies, how to build landing pages, how to do your email campaigns. Do you really want to do everything yourself? So get help, or get someone to really take you step by steps and give you the slim down version. And that's what I do. That's why I say fast track your business and do stuff that normally people don't do. Like, think a bit out of the box, because Facebook is so busy.
Yeah.
We're so busy. I don't know, I got like 30 notifications a minute. So who do I want to, who do I follow? Facebook groups, it is really about standing out and doing things differently. And I think more and more it's about getting back into touch base personally. Like, I have been networking for years and years, and behind me in the office, I have boxes of business cards, which I've never ever followed up with.
Wow.
And because I had, I don't want to cold call people. But then someone told me, hang on, it's not cold calling. They might want to hear from you. They might just need someone like you. Reach out, be of service, and think positively around, hey, they want to hear from you.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing, 5 calls a day, and not everyone's always available. But this morning I spent half an hour. I spoke to 3 people out of the 5, and I've invited 3 people to my up and coming challenge. And they said, thank you very much. It's awesome. I'd love to have some free training and see what you do.
Yes. So beautiful. I love it. So leap before you're ready, take those actions, and really prioritize, how can we be of service? How can we expect that we are the answer to someone's prayers? I think that's a huge mentality shift for a lot of people, because so many people think that they're bugging people, they're bugging their clients. And it's like, if you are letting the fear of bugging someone, or what they might think about you, or picking up the phone and someone saying, no, I'm not interested, or why did you call me, having someone not have a necessarily positive response to you, if you're letting that stop you from actually picking up the phone and serving people, one, there's some stuff to work through. 2, you probably, I don't want to be a jerk or anything, but you don't belong in business if you're going to let that stop you, because there's people who need your freaking solution. And if your solution is not valuable enough to get you over that hurdle and that hump to be able to call people and pick up the phone, then you shouldn't be in business. And no matter where people are at, if you're deathly afraid, for everyone listening, if you're deathly afraid of picking up the phone and actually having these conversations, it's okay. You're starting somewhere, right?
What's the worst case? You get a no.
Right.
You survive, right? You're still alive. They're not going to kill you.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
But it is the mindset. And I think a lot of people are actually really challenged with that. And another lady, one of the ladies I was speaking to this morning is a virtual assistant, and she was saying to me, well, I was after this amazing client, but I just cannot convince him. I said, look, it's not about convincing people. It's about presenting a solution and see whether that fits with where he is. So there were 2 issues there. Well, let's say challenges, right? I don't like to say problems, issues, challenges. You can always overcome challenges. I said, first and foremost, what did you say in the sales conversation? How did you present your return on investment? Because obviously, there's finances and stuff to work through as well. And how did you present what you could do, and how, that he could transform his life if he's got some of your services and can offload the invoicing and stuff like that. He can actually make more money by you helping him doing all the stuff that he doesn't want to do.
Right.
And on the other hand, she was so stuck, like, I want this client, and she was just chasing the client. That is not healthy. I said, look, just shake that off, let go. Maybe the client, if he's meant to come back, he will. But if you're moving on energetically and going for another client, because there are hundreds and thousands of clients out there that do want your service, and you're just stopping yourself from moving forward because you're so stuck in, like, I really want that one client.
Right. I'm curious, what's your opinion on the principle of it takes 7 no's before you get your yes? Like, on average, it takes 7 no's before you get that yes. What's the difference between being persistent and following up and being, like, desperate for a client? I know it's like the energy, but how would you explain the difference, and how do we shift that?
Yeah. So, and again, I've got another story about that. And I think the richest salespeople actually had gone through that. When there's something new in the market, you get shot down, perhaps, right? But all of a sudden, like, for example, smartphone. I said, what do I need a smartphone for? I don't read my emails on a phone. I have my desktop. I'm going to read my emails at home. And I kept on saying no. But at the end of the day, all of a sudden you realize what are the benefits and you change over. So I think it's very similar with regards to how far do you go in terms of convincing and really forcing someone, if it doesn't feel right for you, then just don't do it. Right. If you don't follow up and let loose, that person's going to forget you. They have millions of other appointments and things and phone calls and Facebook messages. Keep on top of the mind, but keep on top in the right way. So this is, for example, it's a good thing to have a Facebook group or doing a live marathon to bring value. People might not be ready to buy right now, but they might be following you and seeing what is he or she doing in business, and they might be learning and thinking, well, because it does take time for people to warm up to you, and it is like you got to see like an ad 7 times before you want to buy that car. Yep. I think it's similar. It's just the way you do it, so it doesn't feel like icky, and bring some value in between. Don't just say, buy my stuff. It's like, oh, by the way, I've got this tip for you. Yeah. And I've got that article, and maybe I thought that may help you. And I think, they really care. They really care for me. But you can automate all that, right? This is what I do with the fast track your business stuff. It's about automation. Yeah. The guy this morning told me he was fiddling around with MailChimp for 5 hours. And he asked me, how long does it take you to do a mail shot? I said, maybe half an hour, because I've got a bit of a strategy how I reuse content, obviously. And he's like, okay, I need a dose of that.
I love it. So tell us more about automation. How do we be more effective with our own automation, fast tracking that?
So I think, as I was talking about value, but giving value in business, I think, and this really ties in with what I was saying in terms of serving your clients and showing up the best you can. So for the longest time, I refused to build an email list because I thought I'll have to send emails every single day. I've got to write something every day, and I'm kind of stuck, and I'm sort of, for me, it was like a responsibility and almost like a little burden. Yeah. And then I thought, well, hang on, let's shift the paradigm and let's shift it. Okay, how could I manage this without being overwhelmed and doing what I'm doing anyway? So what am I doing and how am I automating things? So I'm doing maybe a Facebook Live. I'm going to download the Facebook Live, upload it onto YouTube. Then I'm going to take the YouTube link and embed it into my blog. So I'll write a little blog post about it. Hey, presto, I've got my social media done. Maybe I'll share it to Instagram and other bits. You can do what you want. But you got your social media. You use the same content on YouTube. And then you've got a blog post. And what do you think I'm going to do at the end of the week when you send an email? I just reuse that and send a mail shot. Yeah, check out my video. And most of the time I've got value on there.
Yeah.
Right? So why not reuse it that way? Repurpose. Some people like video, some people want to just listen to an audio or read stuff. So there's all different medias available, ways of presenting the information, so they can go to different places and then maybe see some other videos that I've done. Right?
Yeah, I love it. So that automation is, how can we maximize what we're already creating? How can we repurpose content so it's not necessarily about creating a unique email once a week or even once a day, whatever people are expecting, a unique email that they got to create from scratch, a whole new idea, a unique Facebook Live, a unique blog post, a unique whatever else. It's like, how do we have one message that we really want to create in multiple different formats? One value, massive value add, as much value as we can put in a piece of content, and then use that framework, use that structure, the 3 points, and put that into a blog post, put it into a YouTube, put it into an email, so that people get the value on multiple different platforms and mediums, multiple different ways of presenting the information.
Exactly. And if something is too automated, for me, it then becomes like faceless and it loses personality. So I have never, ever really copied a blueprint from someone else. I didn't want to, because it didn't sound like me at all.
Wow.
And I need to be in flow and create stuff on the go and share the stories and things that I'm doing on a daily basis, because I think that really creates the value for your audience. And this is really what creates the trust and the like factor. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's that having your own unique voice in your content. So I'm curious, how do you balance between having your own unique voice and automation? Do you ever find that there's a challenge with that, of being too robotic, or of people feeling like, this is like the same stuff I saw somewhere else, kind of thing, in one of your other mediums, one of your other platforms or distribution channels? Do you ever feel like that's a challenge, and how do you resolve that?
No, I don't think it is. I mean, firstly, you could have a different schedule. I mean, I use Evernote, and I just put everything into Evernote, and then I can always pull up any of the post ideas or things I've posted, say in Facebook, and I wanted to use that another day on Instagram. So it's all there available, because if you just have it in Facebook, you just lose it, right?
Right.
You have to have some sort of content management around that.
Yes.
On the other hand, I must say that, a lot of people do not read emails, but they're on Facebook. A lot of people are not on Facebook, but read emails, or I'm also doing like Messenger, like the Messenger bots as well. Most of the people actually read the Messenger bots because they get it on their phones and they tend to read it. Emails tend to land in spam, unfortunately, quite a lot. And I don't think there's an issue around that, I've seen just that in Facebook, and now it's not happening because they're somewhere and they'll pick up perhaps just that one bit. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, I get annoyed if someone emails me 2 or 3 times a day.
Yes.
but some people, some marketers have the strategy, well, the more the better, the more chances they're going to open an email from me.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So in the automation process, where do you feel most people get stuck in being able to execute that and automate things and have things be able to flow more easily?
Do you know, the automation comes right at the end. It all starts in the beginning. What's your message? Who's your target market? What do you stand for? Okay, and then you build the rest. Once you have that, it's like your foundation. Then you're ready to say, okay, I could create that landing page. Okay, and nowadays there's free tools available to do that. But still, I think people are finding it hard to know what is a good converting headline, what sort of information I want to put in, what should be the ideal length, and things like what could I give away for free, because obviously we want to create something of value that you can, in exchange for an email address. And then what is the sequence and the strategy to nurture my audience? So, and again, you need to then know, again, what's your message? Who are you? What can you do for them? So you need that again. So really, it's just about bolting some bits and pieces together to put your sales funnel together. And again, these are just some tools. But I think if a lot of people are like me, I was tech phobic, and I thought, what am I doing? I started off with planting pixels and doing that in codes, cutting codes, and I was like, oh my God, someone help me.
Yes.
Plugins, WordPress plugins and all that. That's for tiny objects, which really you don't need until you make money. And if you don't make money, outsource it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to teach that stuff and you're absolutely techie or you're absolutely interested in it. But yeah, it can be something really simple. I mean, I've seen people delivering courses just in a Facebook group, Yes, I have a membership site. I built my membership site. I love it because it's just clean. But a friend of mine asked me, how do I deliver a course without having to invest into a membership site, like a subscription? I said, well, Dropbox.
Yep.
Simple,
Yeah. So many ways to do it, and it's just being aware and talking to the right people like Sabine. And by the way, if anyone has any questions about automation, definitely reach out to her, send her a message, or ask in the comments, whether this is live on Facebook or if you're listening to the podcast replay after the fact. Definitely get in contact with her because she's amazing. And I want to ask you a question about this reach for greatness. What is that all about? How did that come into existence, and what does that mean for you to reach for greatness?
So it's actually very much ingrained into my story. So if you look at the logo, first and foremost, it's got a mountain shape in there as an A. That was the idea of my husband saying, well, you're Austrian, you like mountains. I do like mountains, and for me, reaching for greatness is almost like going on a journey. You got your backpack, you got your tools, your automation tools and your business ideas, and you're sort of backpacking up that mountain. And once you're there, you're kind of like, wow, I've done it. I've reached for greatness. And the idea is really to establish a platform for entrepreneurs, where I bring in people like yourself as well for interviews and sharing different aspects in terms of building a business. I've got a hub as well that's talking about the technical aspects and tools and stuff that you need as well. So for me, it's all about stepping out of the norm, maybe even stepping out of that box. I don't personally believe in a 9-to-5 really, not because I don't want to work for anyone else. I mean, yeah, it's great to be your own boss. However, I just feel you're very much limited in terms of, some companies limit you in terms of your creativity or reach of responsibility. And it's pretty much you show up and you go home, and it was never really for me like that because I was working endless amounts of hours, but then you don't really get recognized. You be made redundant, there's no loyalty. And I don't believe in the whole thing like you work until you're 65 and then you can retire and have a good life. So for me, it's about reaching greatness every single day of your life and reaching it earlier than when you're 65, because you don't have to wait until then to have your greatness now. And, you're probably never going to have reached the height of your greatness. You're always going to be on that journey. But, step by step, we're getting higher and higher and higher. And if you ever have the chance to come to Austria, join me and we'll have a hike. And it's just amazing views. It just feels so serene. And you learn so much about yourself on the way.
Are you doing any kind of like retreats where you do hikes on the retreats? That'd be awesome.
Awesome. I haven't thought about that yet. Yeah, I could. I'm very much into skiing as well. I like the fun side of things, and I think it would be something to think about if anyone's interested to go for a hike in Austria, and we'll have a retreat on the top of the mountain, and we meditate on greatness and go through some fast tracking your business stuff. Then I'll organize it just fine.
That's right. You just gotta build out the program, build out the vision. Why that would be valuable for people. I think that's awesome. And the more we can build metaphors into these programs that we do, like you go on this hike, it's a metaphor for life, reaching for that greatness, taking the steps on the journey to your greatest possible self. The more we can integrate that and our programs and in our retreats, in how we do things. I think that's the gift is storytelling and making it like so interactive and fun.
So you're so definitely right, because quite often I was listening, when I listen to people and I can relate to their story, then I'm waking up and say, oh, what have they got to say? Or they've been in the same sort of situation. How did they come over that challenge? Yeah, absolutely.
Man. So what, with your automation and your business growth, what is one of the biggest challenges you're facing right now? How are you dealing with it? How are you breaking through it? How are you overcoming it?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a lot of noise on Facebook and reaching the right audience. And there are millions of experts out there.
Yep.
That it seems like they're teaching a lot of the shiny objects here, there, and everywhere. Follow this blueprint, and I made £1 million in the last 90 days, or and you feel, or maybe from an audience point of view, maybe they feel they need to go and jump on that one because that will be like a press of the button.
Right.
But I'm standing for, hang on, there is no magic button. There really isn't. All you need is yourself, is self-belief. And when I went through my journey, I actually jumped on the boat of the shiny objects, and I had a software tool here, a little program there. And I was like, but how am I going to join the dots now? How do I really have the whole engine work together? And I thought, well, I really wish someone was going to help me, take me by the hand and show me step by step and just show me exactly what I need at this point in time in my business. And someone who's been there and who's seen it all. And I think I've reached that stage. I have reached a stage, and for me, it's about scaling now. It's about reaching out to more people, and this is where I'm now moving on to group programs. I'm also thinking about doing a membership site. So it's about starting to leverage some of that. But I'm also a person who wants to reach out still one-to-one. So I'm always building in that one-to-one contact, because I would never, ever want anyone to be like a faceless person in a mass group program when they join me.
Right.
But I think this is still really important to have that balance in business. And it is about showing up, being persistent and consistent, and no procrastination, whatever happens. Get up in the morning and be your best self.
Yeah. What are some of your strategies to overcome procrastination? What have you done to beat that, to whip that monster?
I have several things. So I'm a project manager by trade, as you know. So I do pretty much plan my day. And I now have this, a lot of people using Pomodoro techniques, like in terms of time management. So I'm pretty much planning my time. I'm blocking my time. So I actually analyzed I would say 10% of the tasks that I was doing in my business resulted in any of the benefit in the results. Quite often, I think 80%, it's probably Pareto, 80-20 rule. 80% of the stuff that we're doing may not have a direct impact. It's about tweaking your website, creating a new banner, that kind of stuff. So I actually, for myself, thought, well, no, I'm going to, cut all that stuff out, and I'm just going to do the 20% that's absolutely necessary, and I'm going to do that first in the morning. And I have a tool. I think it's like you can have it on Google Chrome. It's called Google Checker Plus, and it actually integrates with your calendar. So you can actually block the times and say Facebook marketing or creative time. And it keeps on flashing up on my screen and on my phone. And I'm like, yeah, I know I need to do it now. Okay, I'm onto it.
Yeah. And that's called what? What's the plugin?
It's called Google Checker Plus. It's what is it? It's not an app. What is it on? What's it called on?
Extension.
An extension. Yeah. It's free. It's free. Well, if you use Google Calendar, you can use it. So basically, it just flashes up any of the appointments that you have, and it's in the middle of your screen. And you've actually got to tick the box or say snooze or what have you. But it reminds you, hang on, it's time to move to the to the next task, or if you have a meeting, so you don't forget about it. So because you could spend endless amount of time just doing nothing, just going through Facebook, and that's where the procrastination. Oh yeah, I'll do those calls tomorrow. But no, I've got it on there, and then I feel good, and I'll journal about it in the morning and the evening as well. So what have I really achieved? And then, you know, pat yourself on the back. You must celebrate and say, look, okay, even if you haven't done it, but if you've done something, half of the list, I think that's a good starting point.
Yeah. My gosh, I love it. I love it. So that's a great tool so that we can be more effective and have this reminder come up and know that, hey, this is what we're supposed to be doing right now. I love that. So Sabine, we're beginning to come to the end of this interview, and I just want to hear, is there any other tips or feedback or advice that you want to give our audience so that we can really shortcut our business and, you know, bypass those detours on the journey to success?
Yeah, I think it's being clear early on what is it that you can provide, who's your target market, and really messaging directly into the pain points, and not skirting around the outside. And again, just looking at your tasks or at the list of the things that you're doing right now, and evaluate whether the stuff that you're doing right now is actually driving results. By driving results, I mean, you know, are you actively being visible? Are you creating something that will help your audience to come to you, or is it a freebie or what have you, right? Is it your marketing? Are you showing up? Are you there? You're doing Facebook Lives. That's contributing definitely to the results. But if you're doing some admin tasks or some filing or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or making phone calls to the friends all day long, it's not going to happen. If you're making phone calls to targeted people that you perhaps met or you go networking, that is the value add activities. Wow. Definitely, I would definitely go through that and see what are the activities I'm doing right now.
Priorities.
That not contributing.
Yeah. Wow. So cut the trim or trim the fat, cut out the excess, and stick with that 20.
Shiny objects.
Yeah.
There is no magic button. Do not. Don't get this plug-in and that plug-in because it looks good and it's got this pop-up. I mean, it may help you fractionally. Right. But if you don't show up, if you don't, you know, have any content or you're not connecting with the people, nobody is going to come to your website. Nope. Don't think you build a website and people are going to come just on their own. They're not. You've got to do something in order to get them there.
Absolutely. Got to drive traffic, got to have people know who you are, and that usually starts with picking up the phone, sending messages, building relationships is so important. So, Sabine, how do people stay connected with you, and what do we want them to do next?
Well, I am running a free challenge next week in my Facebook group. There is a link. I don't know where you can post it. It's called Fast Track Your Business Challenge. Okay. It's a 4-day free training, and it's going to be no fluff. It's going to be massive value. And if you'd love to come and join me, shall I read the link out?
Yeah, tell it to me. I'll put it in the comments.
It's 4-day challenge. .gr8.com.
Challenge.gr8.com. 4daychallenge.gr8.com.
Absolutely. Awesome. So it's your Fast Track Your Business Challenge, which is 4 days of free training starting on the 26th of March. And there's replays available because people were asking me, oh, I can't make it, and whether maybe people in the US wanting to join. But a replay is going to be available. It's free 4-day training where I will show exactly what you need to do in order to leave the 9-to-5, or you want to grow your business, you want to, get your business on the fast track. So Number one, I'm going to talk about how to create your brand and message without having to spend money on a fancy website. So you want to nail your message, your target market, and elevator pitch, so that you can talk about your business with confidence. Number two, I'm going to talk about how to become visible online without having to spend hours and hours on social media. It's about building a social media profile that is really powerful, and you want to use all the assets online. You want to learn how to create killer content, and already alluded to how you can then, reuse that and things that really truly convert, because they have to connect with your message and your target market. Then number three, I'm going to talk about how to not become a slave to your business and automate.
Amen.
Yeah, so this is about creating your first start to finish sales funnel so that you can go from unknown to client saying yes to your offer. And number four, and this is really, really important to me as well, it's about how to grow your business with confidence. And we're talking about building a sustainable business effectively and efficiently. You don't want to build a business that's going to be dead again in 3 months' time. You want to be steady, right? You can't just show up with a burst of stuff and it's like, well, it hasn't worked, so I stopped. No, it's consistency. And and I like the fact that you were doing a marathon. I think it is like running a marathon, building a business. It's a step by step by step.
Yes.
And you're not having a sprint in the beginning and then you're so exhausted and you don't believe in yourself anymore and you think, well, it's just not worked. Well, if something hasn't worked, try another, tweak, try again. And it is a marathon. It is about endurance and continuously working on yourself. So that's a free 4-day challenge. Love you to join me if you can.
Awesome.
And and then I'll also present some opportunities on the back end of that, how to work with me. There's a 6-week program that I'm launching as well to actually help implement exactly those steps.
Cool. Awesome. Sabine, you're awesome. You're crushing it and helping business owners get free from the rat race, the hamster wheel of just trying to survive and put out fires and really build something that is meaningful, that lasts, that makes a huge impact. So thank you for teaching people how to reach for greatness. Thank you for sharing that with us. And for everyone listening, join Sabine's challenge and stay connected with her on Facebook. I believe it's facebook.com/reachforgreatness.co.uk. And you can find Sabine Matharu on Facebook as well and friend her and connect with her.
Yeah, and the challenge is on my Facebook page. So, yeah. So you can find it there. And awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And Chris, you're also doing amazing, awesome work. So you're going to come to my show as well, right?
Yes.
We'll do it.
Awesome.
So, have a great day.
Thank you.
Awesome, Brendan Bourgeois. I love what he does.
Yes,
so enjoy, and I look forward to all the learnings that you're bringing back to us.
Awesome. I'm excited to share. Sabine, have the best day ever, and we'll see you soon, okay?
Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.